Kenya Kwanza now shouting, yet that time they were happy and said Uhuru cares. Double speak in Kenya is really disheartening, okay? Engineer Zaro says cartels could be taking advantage of confusion in the government where DP turned against his own administration and politicized everything. Obi says, we all know that our DP Ruto advised all farmers to abandon maize and sugar farming and told them to plant avocado. How do they expect us to harvest maize from avocado trees? Okay. Bobo Tino says President Uhuru's deal on Ugali is an embarrassment to Kenyans as he is continuing to ruin his legacy at this time in office is running out as his drastic action met resistance from millers. Okay, let's see what you're saying on SMSs. 22422 is the SMS line. There's quite a number of them that has come through. Let's see if we can squeeze them in. Charles Muto from Meru says Kenyan citizens need our President Uhuru to do the same for fuel and other food substance, sugar, rice, fat, etc. Okay. Jackson from Machakos says, why Ruto accusing the government hence is still in? They know where they took our money. Okay. Let's see what else you're saying. Trevor, tell Kirwa to drive his point without dragging DP's name. It was during his tenure as a Minister for Agriculture that the Pyrethrum Board of Kenya came down by appointing some characters and he did nothing about it. Now I'll give you a chance of right of reply to that because it's a direct accusation and you're right here. Yeah. Kirwa.
Oh, you want me to answer now?
Yes, you can answer this.
Well, it's convenient to accuse me of all manner of things. I was running a ministry with 42 parastatals, and just for record, my ministry in the first performance contracting was #1, and most of the parastatals were doing well. But when it comes to pyrethrum board, when synthetic pyrethrin was introduced in the market, it made the organic pyrethrum face a lot of challenges, given the fact that the pricing of the two commodities are not the same. So the challenge has nothing to do with the individuals. I had to sack some of them. I had to remove some members of the board as a way of straightening things. But I'm not accusing DP. He was the minister when May scandal took place in town.
Okay. Let me talk about another conversation here. Teachers are pushing for 60% pay increase. So, Sion, this is right down your alley. The lowest paid teacher will get an increment of 14,550 and the highest 89,016 if a new push by KNUT for a salary review is approved by the TSC. But mostly, is this a reasonable demand, 60%?
Yes, Trevor, 60% is even below. And I can assure you, if you read the Education Charter of Kenya Kwanza, number 12, we've made it very clear that to stabilize and strengthen the delivery of quality, equitable public education, we shall ensure compliance by state agencies and employers that they comply with Article 41 and allow employees through their unions to negotiate CBAs, and those CBAs, once they are registered, they will be honored in full by the Kenya Kwanza government. So we are ready for all that, and I can assure you, once the CBAs are properly negotiated, they will be implemented without any fuss, because we must retain a quality teaching force, a quality workforce, that is happy, that is motivated. And I think 60%, considering inflation, and we are now talking about prices, that we are seeing the price indices, is even too low. We need to protect the economy and ensure that workers in the education sector are the best. In fact, that is well within the SDG framework, that we must make teaching the first profession. Because it's a matter of all profession, so that we can deliver competitive quality education that is one of the best in the world.
Having been at the helm, what is the challenge here? Because teachers are the foundation of the nation and they're the ones who nurture.
No, it brings us back. You see, if we open up another debate, we were discussing the challenges of failed agriculture in the country. It is leadership. If we are discussing about the challenges of failed education and low salaries, it is leadership. Once we have the correct leadership, that is going to fix the economy so that all sectors work, and not just work right and deliver, then that there will be a solution. And this solution, I can tell you, Trevor, without any doubt, and without blinking my eyes, and we'll be here together on 10th, is in Kenya Kwanza. We have the plan for all the sectors, for all the regions in the country, for all the workers, and for the economy. Because you can only finance budgets. You can finance programs through revenues and resources. And those revenues and resources must be generated through an economy that produces. We have directed resources to capital-intensive sector of the economy. That does not produce. And we've killed the production sector. So we must reinvigorate the production sector by deliberately directing resources. And we've seen in Kenya Kwanza, we are directing 200 billion to the employment sector, sectors that will employ workers. We are directing 50 billion to the micro, small, and medium enterprises. So before we talk of any government investment and program, we must get the economy right and put it on the right trajectory. That is going to generate revenue, that every Kenyan is going to put money in the pocket through working. And I think that is the most dignified way of working. We are not going to run the social type of economy where we promise Kenya that we'll give you free money. No, we want every Kenyan to work in dignity, put money in the pocket. And once we have an economy that works well, we'll be able to pay our workers well. I was in Bahamas, and the minimum salaries that every teacher earns in Bahamas is 200,000 Kenyan shillings minimum. And everybody is paid very well because the economy is working well. Economies that are doing well in education, like Singapore and Finland, they pay their teachers very well because that economy is good. In Korea, for example, the 57% of parents would like their children to be teachers. And the top students choose teaching because teaching is dignified and they're paid well. And the effect of education has led to the fast technological growth of Korea. And this is the master plan that we have in Kenya Kwanza. And we have the energy. We have a very energetic presidential candidate, very consultative, and a team that is ready to work. And we are going to work from day one across all sectors. So we have a solution for leadership. And this one, there is no doubt, and indicators are very clear. We saw even Sakaja in the Nairobi gubernatorial candidates contest. We are doing well. We saw Rigathi Gachagua doing very well the other day, and we'll do very well next week. And we have done very well in terms of consulting Kenyans. And the solution we want to provide is leadership. Once we have a solution on leadership,
that is where it starts and stops.
Will fall in place.
Honorable Kiro, you know, it's true that everybody deserves a decent living. At 60%, can we afford it as a nation? And Bashir was just showing me part of the demands here, that the union demands that members of parliament approve a 4.5 billion shillings to foot the teacher professional development refresher courses for teachers. Can we afford it?
Well, I'm not an expert in terms of figures, but suffice to say the following. One, it has been punitive for teachers to have to pay for themselves to train in certain institutions in Kenya as a way of upgrading their skills and competencies in certain areas of specialization. And therefore, it will make a lot of sense to make training of teachers affordable to the teachers themselves, and also should be guided by the curriculum, the direction with which it is following. But we should not be done with spending unrealistic sum of money that will not be able to give us benefit for the money spent. The issue, and I wanted to assist my good brother here, the Honorable Wilson Sossion, leadership, and I take definition from experience and also my training. I have a master's degree in leadership. Leadership is the ability to listen. Of all the virtues of leadership, the ability to listen and to integrate the message from that particular messenger, which I think their candidate lacks in totality. I've said it before. What William needs to do is to have the capacity to listen and also appreciate even the fool in the street as his own story to tell. If he does not have that capacity, he cannot pretend that he will be able to listen to us, the people of Kenya.
Bashir?
I think you know, I think the teaching fraternity is one fraternity that we have witnessed over time. problems with respect to strikes and demonstrations and teachers downing their tools. One thing I appreciate about the new KNUT Secretary General is that he's talking about having a discussion with the outgoing government and incoming government. He's not pegging the discussions on time limits. I think because if he introduces the question of timelines, the biggest people, I mean, the people who will suffer are the learners. You know, those are the people who will be the biggest, who will suffer the bouts of strikes in the event teachers go that way. But I think it's really important that we remunerate our teachers properly, and as much as we still have to be alive to the fact that as Kenyans and as a government and as a country, shall we be able to cater for those needs of the teachers. I think one of the problems that we have seen over time is CBAs are signed with teachers, with those in the medical professionals, but now those CBAs, their contents are just signed by the TSC and what have you, without being considerate of the reality, and they end up not fulfilling those particular bargains, and that is, I think, what has been causing the continuous strikes we were experiencing. I think this time round, if the government is to sign any agreements with the teaching fraternity, let it do so in a way that it can cater for their needs without embarrassing itself in few months to come. And I think this is a very important, delicate discussion that is ongoing. Let's see what comes out of it, but the government should not just sign something. It should sign that which it can afford. Okay. And I think at all times, once we talk about medics and teachers and what have you, we are talking about the basics, those who are so important to the human life and Kenyans at large. We are talking about those who are inculcating knowledge in our learners. And I think as time goes, we shall see what happens. Although, in as much as I can see, the union demands that members of parliament approves 4.5 billion. Yeah. We don't have the parliament, the houses are no longer in place. I think this is a discussion that most likely will be picked up in the next parliament that will come in after the general election.
Okay, so Zion, I'll give you the final word on this before.
Just a rebuttal, just to set things straight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Number one, on the teacher professional development, which has been talked about, is a human resource practice that when an employer initiates training, it must pay for it. And this parliament has passed a resolution through a petition that, of course, the teacher professional development program should be paid for by the government. So it's a closed business. And the issue of demanding from parliament, yeah, I think unions should demand from the employers. And then the employers will engage the necessary organs. And I can assure teachers all over the country that we've passed a resolution as parliament that they will not pay for all capacity building courses except for the courses that they undertake. So this is a matter that is dispensed of at the very first instant. And then as Kenya Kwanza, we've undertaken that we shall allocate funds for teacher professional development and offload it from teachers. That is number one. Number two, we shall also address aspects of delocalization and look at employment of 116,000 teachers, okay, so that we relieve the shortage once and for all and allow all children to access quality teaching. And, yeah, and on CBS, because I've signed quite a number of CBS, and this is going to be the second fiscal CBA. If it is going to see the light of day, yeah, CBS must be implemented. And through negotiations, whatever is signed for is something that has gone through extensive consultation.
Yeah.
And that is why I said from the beginning here, we need a good leadership, generate a robust economy, avail the resources, and pay our workers' salaries.
Yeah.
So on CBS, for Kenya Kwanza, that I can say authoritatively that we've committed to all the unions that, okay, Kenya Kwanza, we shall implement the CBS as signed and agreed within the exact time frames.
Yeah.
And to correct my brother here, Kirwa, who may have issues with William Ruto, and I've always said when we come to these shows, we don't discuss individuals, and I don't believe in that. And I can say from my personal experience that William Ruto is is the most consultative leader actually in this country. If you look across with all those who are there. In fact, if there is a corner where there are dictators who think they are right all the time, and we see them every morning and evening, it is Azimio where he is.
Okay.
And, Rui Kirwa is my best friend, liberal guy, but I think he has gone to the wrong corner.
But let me say that I'm comfortable where I am.
Okay.
So the corner may be wrong according to him, but I'm on the right corner.
Okay. He might have